Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about altcoins. Which ones are best buys right now? I've been talking about dollar cost averaging for so long. A lot of you guys have been wondering which ones to buy. Well, let's discuss. Let's take a look. Now, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. I actually don't feel that good. So I am going to go through this. I'm going to skip Q&A. And I am going to just kind of fly through this and finish the stream so that I can get on to my night and take some rest. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and CryptosRUs.com. All right, let's do this, guys. So let's hurry up and do this. Honestly, it's probably not a good idea for me to stream at all, but I am going to stream anyway since I'm already here. All right, so as we know, Bitcoin has been stuck in this weird range for quite some time. Obviously, things are still very, very low right now. Very low. So, you know what? This is definitely a good time to be dollar cost averaging, right? I've been talking about how it's important to dollar cost average, especially when you have discounts, right? You could do a long haul and set a schedule for yourself or for everyone else. You can just buy the dips and hold them. And it's really that simple. And I'll go through a list and look at which ones have been underperforming, which ones have sold off, the most within the last month or so. I think that'll be a critical determination of what is a bargain right now versus what's not a bargain right now. All right. Before I get to that, couple quick things. I know that everyone's talking about John McAfee. Apparently, he has taken his own life today. So I don't know what it is. There's a lot of conspiracies. We don't know what it is. Obviously, John McAfee was an internet or tech pioneer that started McAfee antivirus. Unfortunately, he just got the okay, or he didn't get the okay, but there was okay to bring him back to the United States to stand trial. And unfortunately, it looks like he may have took his life. And I'm not going to speculate more, but these people are saying he didn't, and maybe he knew too much. I don't know, but I just want to bring that and just talk about that real quick. Also on CryptosRUs.com, apparently Warren Buffett is now into ETFs. And I'm talking about Bitcoin ETFs. And that is because Warren Buffett, who recently invested a whole lot into this bank called Nubank, and that Nubank is now part of the very first Latin America Bitcoin ETF that has just launched. So now not only do you have the Purpose Bitcoin ETF from Canada, which is doing outstanding, now you're going to have the very first Latin America ETF, and it's being offered by Nubank and QR Capital. QR Capital is very, very entwined with the Gemini, and they're going to utilize them as a custodian. But Berkshire Hathaway now, kind of owns the bank that is offering this ETF. So in that sense, Warren Buffett is now into Bitcoin, the one that he called rat poison squared. So that's kind of interesting turn of events, right? Very interesting turn of events. And of course, the US is also looking at Bitcoin ETFs. Now that you have 2 around the world, 1 in Latin America, 1 in Canada, it's really hard to see that the US SEC will actually deny Bitcoin ETFs this year. I mean, there's really not many reasons they can give to say no anymore, right? So that will be coming probably later this year. So again, something to look forward to. All right, now, real quick, before I go down the list, I do want to mention, since we're coming up to the end of the month, there are a few significant things that is coming up. Number one, tomorrow, Binance will be launching their brand new NFT marketplace, and it's featuring some big players already like Andy Warhol. So this is coming tomorrow, and I've been saying Binance Smart Chain with their NFTs, there's not a whole lot of it, but there's a ton of marketplaces coming forward, such as Binance's. So we'll see how this does. This is launching tomorrow. I covered this last week, but there's another one that's called NFTB. That's also a premier marketplace that have launched already on Binance Smart Chain. But I know that there's a lot more after tomorrow's listing too. So like Binance Smart Chain NFTs is coming. There's going to be a ton of NFTs, and we'll have to see how it is. Also, toward the end of this month, Gravity DEX from Cosmos. This will be a big thing. You have one gigantic DEX for the entire ecosystem within Cosmos. That is going to be a big thing for Cosmos as well. I've been talking about this for, I don't know, quite a long time, but a few times. But I do think this will help Cosmos in a big way and tie their whole ecosystem together. And after that, there's also a Gravity Bridge that should be right on the heels of this. And another project I've been supporting a long time is Theta. In less than 7 days, the new Theta Mainnet 3.0 is coming out. And this will include T-Fuel staking and elite edge nodes and many other things. And of course, they do have Theta drops right now, which is their premier NFT play as well. So this is also coming towards the end of this month. So there's a lot of big things coming. And today, I want to announce that Vechain also, they're the very first blockchain company to work with the Cyberspace Administration of China. And this was written out in China, a state-linked press. And this shows you the kind of connection that Vechain has with the government officials. Okay? A lot of people worried recently about Vechain possibly having problems in China because of all this FUD about getting, miners getting kicked out and so forth. But this is pretty obvious that Vechain is here to stay. They have so many ties with state-run organizations or companies, and they keep forming more and more partnerships. So this is not to be understated. The fact that they're continuing to link up with more administrations within China is a big deal. So when they do open up digital yuan and then they create their own ecosystem, allow their citizens to invest, Vechain is definitely one of them. It's definitely one of them. They're gearing up for that. So that's also pretty big for Vechain. All right. Yeah. I don't know if I missed any super chats here, but I'm just going to go through real quick. Riot. You hold a large position in Riot. Riot, miner, obviously not bad, but they're not, Bitcoin stocks are not doing very good right now. Did I miss anything else? Hedera. I don't know what's coming up for Hedera, but they're pretty interesting. I mean, they do interesting things. A little bit not like open source, but it's okay. And then I think that's it. Okay. All right. So let's get to the main topic of today's video, which is which altcoins are best buys. And I've gone through this list many, many times in the past. If you just go back in my channel, you'll see that I've talked about many of these coins many times in the past. But right now is a little bit different than previous times because we have seen quite tremendous dip, right? Which means things are on sale, which means it's a great time to pick up or just simply dollar cost average. Even starting today, be a great time to dollar cost average because all those examples I've been showing you guys recently about making $1 million from $15,000 or making $500,000 from $20,000, those opportunities still exist. Just because it happened and it was in the past doesn't mean that it can't happen again. Especially when a lot of these altcoins have basically reset back to 4 or 5 months ago. Gives you the opportunity to play catch up again, right? If you missed out, especially if you're coming in now, this would be a fantastic time to come in. So Voyager, I do like Voyager. And other super chat, Kasim and so forth. I do appreciate it. All right. So I'm on Coin Codex, and the reason why I'm on here because you could sort by 3 months, 6 months, year to date, and stuff like that. So you could see even at 3 months, many of these big caps are still in the positive, way in the positive. It kind of puts it into perspective that even though we have come down, at least Bitcoin has come down from 64,000, a lot of the altcoins are still holding very well if you even go back 3 months. Not everything's like that, but some have been really, really hot. But let's go back, let's just say 1 month, because for the most part, almost everything is in red, unless it's like a stable coin, right? So let's concentrate on 1 month. I'm gonna go through the top 100 the projects that I like and the ones that simply have dropped the most. So I think these are good ones to talk about, in addition to the ones I just mentioned real quick. All right, so obviously starting at the top, Bitcoin, you can never go wrong with Bitcoin. So you have to throw Bitcoin in the list. But going down the list, the big caps, they're big caps. They're top, 15, 20 for a reason. Because they have the most traction, they have the most loyal fan base, they have the most DEX, they have the most robust ecosystem. There's a lot of reasons why they're up there, right? So for the most part, you really can't go wrong holding any of these big caps. So if you look at something like Ethereum, Cardano, they're down 20% almost. You can't go wrong with it. Binance Coin, surprisingly, has been holding really strong. It could be because of the NFT marketplace, but still down 9%. And then you have like Doge and XRP, which are both down 35%, and Polkadot down 35%. I think these are all terrific buys, although out of the three, I would think Polkadot is the best one. Although at this point, I've said you can't ignore Dogecoin or XRP, right? And then you have like Uniswap is fantastic. I'm going to skip through Bitcoin Cash because I really don't like it. I'm going to skip through Litecoin because I don't think it's going to outperform Bitcoin. So, after Uniswap, you have Solana, which actually, relatively speaking, holding well at minus 15% or 16%. Chainlink, Theta, look at that. Theta is still up 3% for the last month. That's incredible. Almost everything is in red, right? Except Theta and Theta Fuel. So kind of shows you how amazing they have held and how much gains they have had. But still, I like them. Polygon barely down 13%. Still a fantastic buy because I love Polygon. They're going to do very well. But going down the list, if you look at something like Vechain, just got done talking about how closely tied they are with China, down 30%, fantastic. You go down the list a little bit. I'm quite surprised Celsius is this high. I didn't know that they were in the top 30, but Celsius is definitely one of the biggest lending plays out there. And the same thing with Aave. I think you can't go wrong with them. Same thing with PancakeSwap, biggest AMM on Binance Smart Chain. I can't really say Theta Fuel is a good buy right now, but with Theta 3.0 and new Theta staking, that probably explains why and why it may continue to go up. But FTT, and Crypto.com, they're both for their own respective exchanges that I don't really use much, but I know good things about them. So they're probably worth picking up. Neo also in China, but not nearly as strong as Vechain at this point, but still they could benefit. AMP have done very, very, very well after a Coinbase listing. I still think they're going to do well, but maybe a little too heated at this point. Terra, Luna, a fantastic play with their whole ecosystem, their stable coin, and a lot of things you could do with it. IOTA has their new chain that could be promising. Cosmos, I just got done saying with their Gravity DEX, their Gravity Bridge, I think that's going to help them quite tremendously. You go down the list a little bit, like the Graph. I think they're very good. I have an article up. Actually, I have a lot of these articles up on CryptosRUs.com if you haven't checked those out yet. But the Graph is definitely good, down 25%. Kusama is good, sister chain of Polkadot. Hedera, a lot of people love Hedera. They have their own DAG and different way to do things. They have their own console, and it's very kind of corporate, kind of not open source, yet they are. So a little bit different, but I do think they still have a promising future. Same thing with Chili's. What's that? Thorchain. Thorchain was very, very hot. One of the hottest chains, I would say, in terms of DeFi and decentralized yield pools. They have taken a big breather recently, but that doesn't mean they can't come back. Same thing with Compound, a big dip recently. They're the competitor to Aave. Telcoin, they were really hot into remittance. I think their new bank in the U.S. will help them. You're in finance, and they're with SushiSwap, and DeFi plays that's been around, pretty good ones. I have no idea what this penny for a bit is. Quant recently jumped up huge because of Coinbase listing. I think that's tomorrow. I think that was one that not a whole lot of people pay attention to. I just saw that today. Near is also a promising blockchain. Very well funded. Same thing with Elrond. These two are pretty good pickups at minus almost 40%. Engine held really well. Really well. One of the premier NFT plays. Very different than NFT marketplaces, even though they have it, but it's more towards games and so forth. But they have a lot more uses as well. Universal wallet and token creation. There's a lot of things. So I still like Engine, even though it's not down that much. Zilliqa promising. MDX is like the biggest DEX on Huobi chain. They've been just hanging around. Basic attention token. I just got done saying that they came out the new search engine. That's pretty good. Pretty good if you want to hide your tracks. You don't want Google to be studying what you're doing. And then Decentraland, another virtual world NFT play. Synthetics got destroyed. Minus 57%. I told you guys Synthetic I'm neutral on because I think the competition is too fierce right now. Phantom, I do like. Digibyte, I kind of like now because they're into layer 2 and token creations and DeFi. I think that makes it more interesting. Could be a good pickup at minus 44%. Harmony at minus 41%. I think that's a pretty good pickup. A EVM compatible chain that could do very well. Celo's also decent, being like a payment play, something like that. Very well funded too on Coinbase. And you go down the list, KuCoin token, one of my premier awesome exchanges that I love, only down 4%. But they came out with their new community chain. They continue to list a lot of tokens, and overall it's still open to US residents. One of the only exchanges out there that's still open to US residents. So I do like them, and I think they're going to continue to do well. Like OMG, Horizon. This is a privacy play. OMG layer 2. They're kind of hanging around. LivePeer is kind of hanging around. Competitor to Theta, but nowhere close. Theta, Icon, kind of hanging around. I prefer Arweave over Sidecoin. Icon, they're still working on a new chain. Ravencoin is also in tokens creation, synthetics creation, kind of not a whole lot of people paying attention to them. Voyager, not down that much, but Voyager is a promising broker app where you could buy and basically earn interest. I think they're going to continue to do well. 1inch, yeah, okay. 1inch is a DEX aggregator. Arweave is a storage play, yes. Mirror is part of Terra, so they're not really down, but doing pretty good. This Wazirx, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but that's the Indian exchange bought by Binance. Okay if India becomes more pro, but right now they're not. And then, that rounds out a list, and you have a whole bunch more, right? A whole bunch more. Mina is also part of Terra. Dent was really, 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 really hot. Now they have just fallen down to their previous levels. For mobile, decentralized mobile, you have Orion that's in NFTs. Kava's also a DeFi play built on Cosmos, but they didn't take over as the premier DeFi play within the Cosmos ecosystem. People tell me about WooTrade. I haven't used them, can't really talk about them, but reserve rights, I'm kind of neutral on too. Nervos has a partnership with Cardano, kind of neutral on them too. But hopefully that gives you a good example, right? There's a lot of projects that I love, and a lot of projects that's down right now, right? I mean, some down way more, 30, 40%. Even some of the big caps, even something like Polkadot is down 35%. There's no reason it should be down 35%, right? Some of these are down 10, 15, 20%, which is okay. But to be down 30, 40% with really no reason for it other than market fear and FUD-driven fear, right? They're good pickups. So hopefully that helps you guys. Yeah. So while things are cheap, you dollar cost average, right? You take advantage, you buy the dips, and you hold them, right? Even though right now we're not out of this fear zone. I know that we recovered a little bit from our 28,000, but overall we're still on a lower range of this 43,000 and 31,000. We're still kind of hovering there, right? This morning I covered whether or not Bitcoin is like following Wyckoff accumulation or whatever. It could be, or it could not be, but you know, it's some form of manipulation right now, or suppression, I should say, keeping Bitcoin's price low while the big boys accumulate, right? But the best thing to do is to join them. The best thing to do is join them. You know, buy things when they are low, right? Accumulate and hodl and wait for life-changing wealth. And that's really it. That's really it. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. That's it. Like I said at the beginning, not feeling too well. So I just want to run through the list for you guys real quick. Cover a few pieces of news. So hopefully keep you guys entertained and educated for one more session until tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be streaming tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Have a good night. And like I said, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.